This is the Lowell Pro DV kit. It's quite a compact little kit, as you're about to see. Just open the top and you'll see it's there all packed and ready to go. What we have in here is 4 power leads, which is this type here. You'll see on the end there it's got a notch, special notch, which indicates it's a lighting lead, not a standard power lead. They're switched as well, so just probably make sure that all the switches are off. So there are your cables. Next you've got your stands, which are at the back of the case. Now for each of these stands we're going to talk about it, but you've got a little locker, so you just basically unlock that and they actually invert. So once you've unlocked that, don't turn it all the way, they just need to be loose. And you'll see that as a result, we've got a start of a stand there. Just lock that. Pop that there for now. Pop that out of the way. Okay, so we've got 4 of those stands sitting in the back. We've got our umbrella light, which is sitting here. Leave that in its case till you need it. You've got your little reefer light here, which if you just undo that, you'll see comes out as such. So it's just got a bit of Velcro. And this also has a box in it as well. And you'll find the box wrapped around the black piece of tubing here. And you can see, there we go, there's the box. So I'll just pop that to one side as I'll be using that later. Just a piece of advice, it's keep this flat, don't put anything on top of this because you will crease it. And just pop that back in there. Okay, your umbrella light goes with your tote light, which is here. And you can see here you've got a little mounting pole, we'll look at that later on. You've got your Omni light, which is really bright. You'll find that this probably isn't that useful. It's exceedingly bright. You can bounce off a wall or something like that. You can use it with an umbrella, but you're better off with the tote light. It's a little over the top. And finally, you've got your Pro light, which is this little light here. So you can just open the flaps there. You can just spread them out as well if you want to. You've got a little focusing element here as well. So there are all your main parts. There's just a couple of additional parts in here. There's the frame here for popping your gels in. We've got some big gels which will fit in there. And you've got a little one of those as well, which will fit on the smaller lights. This is for the Pro light. You'll find the bigger one's better for the Omni light. It's the bigger light. And apart from that, you've got these empty boxes maybe in the pack which don't have globes in them. They're actually empty boxes. If you blow a globe, you're going to have to make do and use one of the other lights. There's 4 lights in here. You shouldn't really need to use more than 3 for most things. So that is the kit. What I'm going to do is just set this up. Now this is a little tricky. Sort of got to work with it a bit. First of all, just switch that so it's not in front. And this will actually open up, you can see it like that. And what we've got here is the light at the end, and you can actually put a soft on this and it'll reflect all the light from this back and will also give you a nice sort of soft spot in the middle. So what we're going to do is pop that on the top. Again, this one's sort of a wider fit, so it should be slightly easier. I'll just loosen one of those so it can freely move around. And what we got, woo, if you've got that, just make sure the cable's nice and loose. And this will sit fully extended. The problem is you sometimes need to extend it out. Never touch the globe, by the way, because if you get oil on it, you'll actually damage the globe, so just be very careful not to touch the globe. That's why it's got this protector around it as well. Okay, this is your soft, which we will find in the same case as the light, wrapped around the little roller, which is inside here. If it wasn't wrapped around this, then you're in trouble because it's probably going to be creased. Certainly at this point, we've got fairly nice condition here. So what we're going to do is pick that over the top. And you can see here we've got our 4 extensions here. And what we're going to do is just line those over each one. Now this is a bit fiddly. You've just got to be careful that you don't tear the light at any point. So you can see here, poke the first one through. And you've got to take your time here. You can't just run into it, otherwise you'll end up damaging it. And you'll find it also velcros on the top and on the sides as well. But easiest way is just to put your finger over the top and just feel your way around the light. You'll notice here that I'm not rushing to do any of this. You should always give yourself at least an hour to set up lighting. Probably more. And finally, this side as well. It's not, problem is being a small kit, it doesn't quite have the durability of some of the bigger kits that you'll get. And just make sure that that goes around the outside. It will get its rigidness from the Velcro around the outside. It is a bit of a mission to get on sometimes. So, like that. You'll end up with something that is fairly taut, although it's still going to give a little bit of, there we go. But that's now what we call a box light, and that's a handy thing because it'll give a nice soft light. So you can point this directly at someone, whether with the umbrella light you'd probably bounce it. You can use it as an omni light, you can shine through it, but this is much better, certainly as your key light for interviews and things like that, whether the umbrella light's better as a fill light, from the way I use them anyway. On the back here, just so you know, you've got the controls that you can unlock off. Keep in mind you shouldn't do any of this while the light's hot. If you are, you've got to do it very, very, very carefully. Second you jolt it or knock it, you'll blow the light up. Same with all these lights, you can blow them up very easily, so you just got to be a bit careful with them. From there you've got your power, and you can see here, you just simply grab a power lead and plug it in. And obviously, if I can undo it, just undo one of those. And as such, probably better off running your cables first before you do this, especially because if you end up with a situation like this, just make sure your cables are untangled. You should never actually roll with tangled cables because they will potentially get hot. And that's pretty much it for this light. Just make sure that's nice and sort of locked off. There is a kind of clutch system on this as well if you want to sort of get a better handle on it. Soft light. You can see here we've got the same kind of deal. Just pop that on and it should go right the way to the bottom. Just undo it a little bit if it's not going right the way down. There we go. And we're right the way down there, you can see here. Now the tote light can run in two ways. You can either sort of use it as a sort of bounce style light, or not bounce, or like off a wall or something like that. Could use it as a directional, but a lot of the time you'd use it with the umbrella, which is right here. Aha! Just like the Afix twin clip. So what we're going to do, and you can see here, we've got the little round part here. It's just like when you're a kid, you're trying to match up the shapes. Just pop that in. It's a little hard to do it in front of camera and still actually. There we go. And you just got to angle it. You can see on the back, it'll light here. It'll come through. If it doesn't go through, it means that this has been left too tight. You just undo on the bottom a bit, and then once you get it in, just lock it off a little bit, and hey presto, you've got yourself an umbrella light. You can choose to focus that, or you can sort of leave it without sort of bouncing. And that will then allow you to obviously get a softer light because you're bouncing off the back here. It's called an umbrella light. Finally, we've got the Lowell Omni light. Same deal, you just pop that on the top and open it until it slots down, and then just tighten it again. Just loosen it off a little bit so we've got some movement until we're going to use it. Now this light does have a handle on it as well, but we're not going to use the handle because, I mean, that's just handy for if you do want to hand a light, although again, if you knock these lights, they will blow up. I keep saying that, but it's true. You can see here that we've got these shutters. Now these shutters will open, and then you can actually flip out the shutter bits so they come out the side here. But the important thing is, when I'm doing this, and you see it's a little bit of a fiddle to get it out, I'm actually locking these bits into place. So you can see here we've got these little tabs here, and as I rotate those round, rather than just sitting out like that, they actually just clip in, and you've got to sort of start a bit earlier and just apply a tiny bit of pressure, and you'll see that they actually lock in. on either side. It's a bit tricky, but you can see how the little tabs have locked in on that rail, and that will actually mean now that they're nice and secure. Okay, these side ones here will just come out. They're really just sort of a little extra bit of barn dooring for the sides. How you want to use these, you can actually shutter it off like that,